Morning folks, or afternoon, I have no idea when I'll be releasing this video, but yeah, we had a PlayStation Direct, or State of Play as they like to call it, that came out on Thursday the 25th of February. I just wanted to spend a bit of time going through what was talked about during the State of Play and give you some quick thoughts and opinions on it. Right, let's just jump straight into it, yeah? So first up, we've got a feature update for Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, which seems to be coming out on the PS5. It looks like we're getting 60 frames per second at 4K, adapted triggers, and 3D audio, whatever that means. For me, this is actually quite good news. I actually never picked it up on the PS4, and now that it's coming onto PS5, I'd be more than happy to give it a go. It looks like for those that bought it on the PS4, there is a free upgrade to go to the PS5 version, which I think is always a great thing. But yeah, it was a fun trailer, it looks pretty exciting, and it's coming out on PS5 on March 12th. Following that, we had a trailer for Returnal, which kind of, I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but to me this looks like a Prometheus game. I don't know if it's the spacesuit or what, but looking at the gameplay, it actually looks quite fast-paced and entertaining to do. I feel like we're seeing a lot of mechanics that are based around dying and trying again these days coming out. I don't know if it's just because this and Deathloop are in the same state of play, but I'm getting that sort of feeling. It's coming out to PS5 on April the 30th, and whilst the visuals do look great and the gameplay looks pretty interesting, I can't imagine this being one that I'll pick up straight off the bat, and might be something that I give a go when it's being discounted at a later date. Following that, we had a trailer for Knockout City, we've got Splatoon, then we got that Ninjala game. I feel like this is just another reiteration of those sort of games, except from this time it's using dodgeballs and not ninja sticks or paint. This was also one that was talked about in the Nintendo Direct, but actually a better trailer than the one in the Nintendo Direct as well. This actually looks quite interesting to play. I can't imagine it having people's attention for long though. I couldn't imagine how you make a dodgeball game fleshed out as they have here, but they've somehow managed to do it. And it looks like something that I'd be quite interested to play, not at a full price game though. There's no release date for this one yet, but it does look like you can sign up for an open beta, which is quite neat, and we're just gonna have to wait and see more about this game when it comes out. After that, we had a game called SIFU. God, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, but essentially this looks like a game which just allows you to play out all your martial artist fantasies you had when you were watching Jet Li and Jackie Chan growing up as a kid. I'm kind of digging the visuals, although they're a bit basic, and the gameplay looks just really fun and clean. The main character we're looking at here seems to grow older throughout the trailer, or at least it's showing us different parts of his lifetime. I think that makes for a really interesting way to tell a story. Instead of just doing one particular event, which a lot of stories focus on, you're instead following the whole life of this main character. And yeah, I kind of just want to kick ass as an old granddad as well, that would be really fun. It's got a 2021 release date, but it's not much more specific than that. It's not saying it's coming to PS4 and PS5, or it's just PS5. So I imagine this is going to be one we're going to hear more about down the line this year. This was a pretty boring trailer for a game called Solar Ash. We've heard about this game before, but we haven't really seen much on it, and this seems to be diving into further details about what we can expect from this game. Whilst the trailer was pretty naff, I thought actually the game looked quite interesting itself. Some really unique visuals, and like they emphasised, it looks really fluid and fast paced. The levels look huge as well, with plenty of areas to explore and deviate into your own paths, with enemies that look kind of funky as well. This game also gave us a 2021 release date with no more specifics on the information, so this looks like one we're just going to have to sit and wait on a little bit longer. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach took the stage next. This is one we saw a sneak peek trailer for way back in June, and this trailer here shows us some more concrete gameplay. There's quite a lot of large open spacey areas with not much detail to fill them out, which is a bit of a shame, but nonetheless it still looks like a really creepy game. Again, with another 2021 release date, no more specifics on when that's coming out, but I can't wait to shit my pants later on this year. Oh god, this Oddworld Soulstorn, Jesus. I feel like we've seen a million trailers for this already. To me, it just doesn't look interesting, and they're really trying to shove this down people's throats. I'll give it to them by saying that this was probably the best trailer that they've released to this so far, and that's because we finally get to see what the gameplay is about. It's describing itself as a more complex version of a side-scrolling platformer, and whilst they've thrown in a few unique features to try and shake the formula up, it just looks bland. It's coming out April 6th for PS5 and PS4, and maybe it'll prove me wrong, but this definitely isn't one that I'm picking up anytime soon. Next up we had Kenna and the Bridge of Spirits coming out on PS5 and PS4 August the 24th this year. This game looks gorgeous. I find it interesting that this is coming out at a similar sort of time as that Disney Plus movie, Raya and the Last Dragon. I don't know, I just think their art style and the world that's surrounding them look really visually similar. But yeah, the gameplay looks fun, and I'm a little bit of a sucker for action adventure games anyway. I'm really loving the music as well. Kind of reminds me of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And so with great visuals, great music, and interesting gameplay, this is one that I'm definitely looking forward to picking up over summer. Next, we had a pretty long trailer for Deathloop with no release date at the end of it, if I'm correct. The trailer itself was good, but the gameplay just doesn't really hook me. This all screams things that we've seen before, and like I mentioned with Returnal a little bit earlier on in this video, it's just another die and revive mechanic. There seems to be this bounty hunting mechanic thrown into it as well to make it a bit more unique, but at the moment I'm just not sold. But I googled the release date just to remind myself, and this one is releasing on the 21st of May 2021. And to end things off, we had an update for the Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out on PS4. That was probably one of my favourite games of 2020, and I was hoping they'd do some sort of PS5 release for it. It looks to me they've done some update on the visuals, the loading times are shorter, and to my surprise they're even adding a DLC episode all about Yuffie. I think for me the best news as well is that if you owned the PS4 copy, you can upgrade to the PS5 one free of charge, whilst of course still having to buy the DLC normally. I've just been saving myself doing a second run through of the game, knowing that it would eventually come out on PS5. The PS5 update is coming out on the 6th of June 2021, and I am just looking forward to this so much. On a side note to the state of play, Square Enix also announced 2 other Final Fantasy games, both for the mobile phones. The first one was this weird battle royale game. They're calling it the prequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake, describing you becoming the first soldier, but it just looks to me that they made this generic battle royale game and had to slap on some popular IP on it to sell. The second announcement to me was way more interesting, a remake of all the Final Fantasy VII spin-offs and games we've had up till now, each getting this visual update to make it look more modern. I think it's a fantastic idea, and I'm really hoping they bring this one to at least the Nintendo Switch, or just any console in general. I'd love to pick this one up. This project called Ever Crisis seems to be coming out in episodic releases and won't be beginning until 2022, so we still got a long way off to wait for this one. But that's it for me here today guys, thanks a lot for listening. Let me know if you found this video helpful. If you did like this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, it really helps out. And also leave a comment below on what your favourite announcement of the State of Play was. For me, it was easily the Final Fantasy VII Remake update. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime and video games. Until next time guys, take care. See ya!